So my wife Finley and I are getting married. Under the circumstances, my mom is staying with me. My mom is not fond of Finley. My wife struggles with an eating disorder and depression, and while wedding planning and everything is really fun, it's also a ton of work to do. It's very tiring and Finley usually can get discouraged. So Finley's mom passed away not long ago and left her a few items. Finley's mom knew about her struggles. One thing she did before she passed was she made a jar of all these encouraging things and tasks. Some may be tasks like taking a shower or going for a walk, and a reward on the back, like now you can watch the show or sleep, etc. But the goal was to do one task for herself. Finley uses those a lot, and they're very important to her. Recently, that jar went missing, and Finley is heartbroken about it. During the entire time, it was a struggle to get her out of bed or eat or anything because she was sure she had lost the last thing her mom gave her, and she felt awful about it. I was doing the laundry, brought it to my mom's closet, and guess what I found? Her jar. I gave it to Finley, who was overjoyed that she got it back. Of course, I was happy I found it, but I was furious. When my mom came home, I confronted her immediately about how she, number one, went into my bedroom unannounced, 2, snooped through our stuff, 3, stole the jar and hid it, knowing what it was for. She said that she was helping her because she was too attached to it, and it wasn't healthy, and at some point, she will have to learn to live without it. I almost found this comical, but I told her that this was by no means her trying to help Finley, and if that was the case, she would have given it back when she saw the way it affected her, and this was just her sick way of trying to mess with Finley, and I'm not tolerating it. She kept bickering at me, saying that she'd have to let it go at some point, and if I didn't ruin her plan, she would have learned. The fact that she not once apologized, and still hasn't, had me so angry that I told her to leave. She asked me where, and I said, I don't care. Hotel, my dad's, my sister's. I don't care, but out of my house. When she tried to go into the room and throw the glass jar on the ground and break it, I realized that 1, she's not going to change, and 2, she's mental. I told her to get her stuff and leave, and she will never be in my or Finley's space again or wedding. My dad is mad at me, but I think he just doesn't want my mom there. And some of my family are angry too, and I've heard their opinions on this through multiple voicemails. I don't know if I'm in denial or if I'm the only logical person in my family. Am I the idiot? Edit. Oh, also, if it's necessary to the story, my mom is staying with me because she and my dad are going through a divorce. I also did say she could go to my dad's, because while they are having issues right now, it's her house too. She's here because she doesn't want to be there, not because she's homeless. Not the idiot. So your father doesn't want to be around her either. He should understand your position. Your mother had one job, to be a respectful guest, and couldn't even do that right. Actions meet consequences. You showed that you respect your fiancée and her emotional needs, supporting her through a tough time. Unfortunately, your mother showed no such respect and wore out her welcome. Gee, can't imagine why they didn't work out. She seems lovely. Your mother's behavior is inexcusable. Any family members trying to argue otherwise should be clearly told. Mom stole an irreplaceable memento from my fiancé's late mother. Even though Finley was in terrible pain, Mom didn't care. When I caught her, she didn't even apologize and tried to destroy it rather than allow me to return it to Finley. I don't understand how you can condone her actions, but if you see nothing wrong with what she did, you should have no problem inviting her to live with you. Because if they don't condone it, then they can't guilt OP into taking her back in, and then one of them will have to deal with it. Your mother blatantly disregards your future wife's coping mechanisms because she thinks she knows better. She is insane and trying to insert herself into situations that aren't even about her to start drama. I hope your future wife is doing fine, and I wish you both the best in the future. My older sister, Tessa, 29, and I, 24 female, have never been close. She has hated me for as long as I can remember. She was never the big sister who would be there. I got bullied, she ignored it, even stayed silent about it, and spent time with my bullies, one of which was her best friend's younger sister. I lost someone I cared about, and she would lie to our parents and say she had comforted me when she hadn't. She would snap at me and turn away if I wanted to help her when she was going through anything. The best times were when she ignored my existence. When I was 12 and she was 17, we were left alone for a few hours, and I took the opportunity to ask her what I had done wrong and if I could fix it. She told me she had never wanted a sibling, and I was the thing she wished her parents could take back because I was a mistake. It crushed my little heart to hear those words, even if part of me knew it. My parents didn't hear about it until I was 16, and my sister had just gotten married. They were asking why I wasn't invited. I told them to just leave it. They told me they couldn't leave it because I was her sister, and there were other kids my age and younger invited to the wedding. I told them she didn't want me. They didn't believe me until I told them what she said. I told them not to force her because it wouldn't change anything. They didn't force an invite for me, but they did confront my sister and asked her how she could be so cruel and cold and told her to grow up. They did go to her wedding just in case anyone asked. We have not been in each other's lives at all. She has made no effort to reach out to me. But once she learned I was pregnant, things changed. Kind of. She wants to be an aunt to my child. She wants to know my child. But her feelings toward me have clearly not changed. Finally, my parents made me aware that she can't have children and that she's probably realizing how wrong she was. This doesn't change anything for me, and I don't want her in my child's life because I don't trust her to not try and turn my own child against me. She still hates me. From the brief interaction we've had over this, she clearly doesn't want me more than she did at 5, or 21 for that matter, when she got married. My parents want me to let her in, and they want her to be invited to my baby shower. I said no. They told me to think of the baby, that the baby should be allowed to have a relationship with their aunt. I said no. They begged. I told them no again. They left it for a bit, but now that the date for the shower was coming closer, they asked again, and she called again. I told my parents that she was not welcome, and that if they tried to bring her, they would be kicked out of my shower. Now my parents are mad at me, and they tell me what I'm doing is just as bad as what she did. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot. Heck no. Keep that idiot away from your child. If she wants kids in her life, she can attempt to, with her attitude, adopt, or hang out with her friends' kids if she has any friends. If not, tough luck. She will seriously probably try to take your kid from you. She will make up lies, put them in your kid's head, call CPS, and try to get custody. You share genes, so the kid will resemble her. She could pass them off as her own to people, like she would ever admit that you made that beautiful baby. And she wants kids but can't have her own? Now, coincidentally, she's going to change towards you? Nope. Absolutely nope. My thoughts exactly. I wouldn't even allow her parents to babysit, in fear of her taking the child, or them allowing her to create a relationship with the child behind her back. She's hated you all your life, bullied you, called you a mistake that shouldn't exist, and actively alienated you. Now you have something that she can't have, and she wants you to share it. Heck no. Tell her she deserves the same amount of consideration she gave you. None. She hasn't realized she's wrong. Therefore, you have every reason not to trust her. And if I were you, I would make it very clear to your parents that you do not want her in your child's life. Make it clear that if they betray your trust in this matter, they risk not having a relationship with your child. For context, girlfriend is named Kara. Kara and her ex dated for 4 years and broke up about 1 year before we began dating. We've been together for 2 months. My girlfriend and I are new to our relationship. We were distant friends when she was with her ex, but I always thought she was attractive. She never hung out with me alone and was extremely loyal to her ex-boyfriend. When they broke up, we were all surprised, but I waited a year and asked her out, and now here we are. Last week, I went over to her apartment for the first time since we started dating, and I noticed that she had a cool video game set up. We played many video games, and she has a cute desk, pink gaming chair, anime figurines and all. I noticed her speakers were really nice and asked where they were from. She told me that her ex got them for her when she first showed an interest in gaming. This bothered me a bit, and I asked her if she thought it was weird that she still had items from a past relationship. She said no. and that there were many things in her room from past friendships and her relationship with her ex. I dropped it, but the more I thought about it, the more it bothered me. I don't feel comfortable with her keeping items her ex-boyfriend got for her. Last night I texted her and asked her to get rid of anything her ex got her, just because it made me uncomfortable as her new boyfriend. But instead she called me and flipped out on me, calling me an idiot and insecure. I argued that it's weird that she's holding on to other items from him and shows that she still may harbor feelings for him. She argued that if I wanted her to get rid of everything anyone from a past relationship or friendship had given her, she would have an empty house. She ended up saying either I could pay for new speakers for her or kiss her butt. I hung up on her and we haven't spoken all morning. She just sent me a text saying she thinks she needs some space for a while. I asked my friends about it and they all agreed with me, but my sister said I'm being an insecure jerk. Am I? Total, you are the idiot. She needs to get rid of something she enjoys just because you have completely unreasonable insecurities. If it's so important to you, do what she suggests and buy new ones. But even then, it's ridiculous to demand this. I agree with your sister. You are insecure and foolish, and your insecurities may have cost you your relationship. Everyone has a past. If you cannot handle it, you must reevaluate whether you should be in a relationship. 2 months in and you're already demanding that she get rid of functional items because another dude gave them to her? LOL. You are 28. Time to grow up and become an adult. She had a past before you. It doesn't mean that every time she plays a video game, she's thinking about her ex. Your insecurity will end this relationship if you don't get over yourself. My 22 female, mom 37 female, had me really young. My dad was never in the picture. She's still very beautiful, and people say we look like sisters. For as long as I can remember, my mom was a very hardworking and independent woman. She takes pride in not letting any men or her family have any financial chains on her, which is super awesome. I admired her until she got on her high horse. My longtime boyfriend, 24, comes from a very wealthy family, so he tends to shower me with gifts and surprises. My mom doesn't like it. For her, I'm always relying on his money, which is not true. I have 2 jobs, one at school and one part-time. A few months ago, one of my cousins introduced the term sugar daddy/baby to her, and from that moment she was sure that was my situation, which is not. I've tried to explain to her that my relationship is genuine, that my boyfriend and I are loving partners, and that he's not my bag of money, but she doesn't understand. My boyfriend thinks I should ignore her because we both know what's happening behind closed doors, but it's kinda hard. I feel like she respects me less because of this. Well, she's been seeing Ben, 45 male, for a few months now, and he's always giving her nice stuff. Flowers every week, jewelry, cards, going out to nice places, etc. My mom is happy, and I'm happy for her. I noticed the hypocrisy, but I said nothing because it wasn't my intention to bring my mom down. Yesterday, my boyfriend got us matching rings, and while he was in my bathroom, my mom made a small sugar baby comment, and like divine justice, she received flowers from Ben at the same time, saying that it'll take her someplace nice, and she didn't have to worry about anything but look pretty. She was smiling and I said, "Good, now we're both sugar babies, Mom." Her smile dropped, and she said it wasn't funny, and it was different. I just left with my boyfriend, but she texted me, saying we need to talk, and I need to apologize because it's not the same. So am I the idiot? Not the idiot. You're right, it's not the same. I was trying to make a point, but on the other hand, you've repeatedly disrespected my boyfriend and my relationship, and I'm still waiting for my apology. I want to hear how this isn't the same. Because OP's mom is a sugar baby, in all but name. Don't need to worry about anything but looking pretty. After a few months, getting showered with jewelry and nice things at that scale? An 8-year age gap here isn't gross, but it is, you know, a little suspect. So it's totally different. OP's mom is the sugar baby. Tell your mom she needs to grow up. It must suck having to be the adult in all of this. Honestly, I think your mom tossed the sugar baby/daddy at you guys out of jealousy. And now that she has her boyfriend buying her crap, it can't possibly be the same because it's herself. If she wants to talk, I'd be very upfront and tell her that you're insulted that she would think the only reason you're with your boyfriend is to get free stuff or money out of him, that it's rude and shows she doesn't respect you. It's definitely jealousy and competition. Mom used to be praised for her looks, be called her daughter's sister. Then her kid, who in her eyes wasn't that impressive, starts dating a cool guy with money enough to have no worries about it. And he's pampering her when she was a single mother at that age. She doesn't see it, but deep down she's angry her daughter's getting it easy and probably thinks she deserves a rich BF, while OP doesn't. I, 27 female, and my husband, 28, have been together for 10 years and finally got married last week. It was an amazing day, as all of my family was there and I got to marry my best friend. The day was going well, and we all sat in the dining hall where we had speeches. My dad's speech consisted of childhood memories of me, how much he appreciates my husband, and a few jokes thrown in now and then. It was the perfect speech. It made me and many others tear up. When the meal and speeches were all over, the guests were invited to party on the dance floor, and the doors were open to guests who wanted to wander outside, as the venue was a farm. After saying my hellos to all of my guests, I found one guest, a family friend, sitting in a dark corner outside, bawling her eyes out, with her fiancé comforting her. I of course asked her what was wrong, and she mentioned that my dad had said something insensitive in his speech, which I didn't pick up on. Her fiancé said it was the part when he said something like, "When am I going to have grandchildren?" or "I hope I get grandchildren." I was told that they've been trying to have children for years and have been going through IVF and had multiple miscarriages. I apologized to her and offered her a hug, but she refused and started screaming at me, saying how she wanted my dad to apologize instead of me. A few people had heard her, and I felt extremely embarrassed because I was being shouted at. My husband also heard and came running to me. He eventually told her and her fiancé to leave, as she was causing a scene, and we just wanted to enjoy our wedding night. We offered to get them a taxi, and they left without saying goodbye when the taxi arrived. Here's where I think I'm the idiot. The next day I made sure the lady was okay, and also asked why she started screaming in my face. She replied and said that we were insensitive. We didn't consider checking my dad's speech. We were also not sympathetic to her when we were speaking to her and told them to go home. I was shocked and also a bit hurt because I did comfort her, but she refused it and started screaming at me. I explained to her that my dad's speech was from the heart, so I couldn't pre-check it, and if she had a problem with my dad, then she had a problem with me. I also said that she should have spoken to me about it in private instead of causing a scene because we didn't want any drama at our wedding, and that she was wrong to scream in my face about it. She then called me an idiot, and now I'm not invited to her wedding. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot. She's obviously very, very, very upset about not being able to have children, but if it's to the point a speech like this bothers her, she needs help and therapy, not to be screaming at you at your wedding because of your dad's speech. Earnestly, my heart goes out to her for her losses, but you are not the idiot. I feel like that woman wanted to create that scene for the attention and to spite your happy moment. She wanted to make your day about her. I'm not saying she's a narcissist or anything. Grief will make you act in messed up ways. Like, seriously, how are you supposed to pre-check a speech for something insensitive when they tell you why it would be insensitive to them after it was said? Some people love to be a victim. Your dad doesn't owe her anything. Your dad said nothing wrong, and he doesn't have to check his speech with your wedding guest. She needs to learn to control herself. This person behaved inappropriately. Yes, obviously, shouting and disrupting the event is a good reason to be asked to leave. Good Lord, the world is full of unhinged people.